Hi, I'm Dave Borneman. I'm a contractor hired by the Bloomfield Hills School District to do the burns out here at Johnson Nature Center. There are 4 or 5 different prairie plantings that we've been burning every year or two for probably 15 years or so. Fire is a natural tool that historically was used to manage these fires. Native Americans were burning these areas for thousands of years, and all the prairie plants that are planted here and that we're trying to bring back are things that are really well adapted to fire. They not just tolerate fire, they really thrive on the fire. These prairie plants have roots that go down maybe 15 feet, and the burns that we do during the dormant season like this simply burns off the dead grass, the dead thatch. It's like giving them a haircut. And what's left is black ash. We put nutrients back in the soil when we do this fire, and the native plants can really benefit from those nutrients. They know how to exploit them and take them up quickly. Fire really helps to give the competitive advantage to the native plants that have evolved with fire. And many of the non-native plants, the weeds that are coming in and threatening these prairies, have not evolved with fire, so they're pretty sensitive to fire. So the fire helps to set back any of the woody shrubs that are encroaching, as well as some of the other non-woody invasive plants, a lot of which we have in this particular area. You see is that every year as we burn, the native prairie plants come back stronger, the weeds get set back a little bit more, and after 4 or 5 years of burning, it takes that long, a newly planted prairie really starts to thrive and come into its own. The prairie burn does several things. It puts nutrients back in, it kills some of the weeds, it just removes the dead thatch that's here. These prairie plants like warm season grasses. They like warm soil temperatures, and many times we have a layer of thatch on the ground that insulates the ground and keeps it from heating up with the sun. When we burn off this thatch, we remove that insulating layer, we blacken the soil, and now when the sun comes out, that soil heats up more and heats up more during the day, cools down at night because there's not an insulating blanket there, and those temperature extremes really benefit the native prairie plants. We did several areas, some that are strictly prairie, others where there's forest or some trees growing as well. Historically, Oakland County, the whole of Oakland County was kind of an open oak savanna or an open oak woodland, meaning that there were scattered trees around, oak trees around primarily, with other young prairie plants growing underneath them. The oak trees are very well adapted to fire. They've got thick, corky bark. We can burn through those areas, and the trees are fine. But the non-native trees, and especially the non-oaks, don't like the fire, so they're set back as well. What we're doing here in the woods is trying to burn around some of these logs. Our goal with the fire is to burn through the leaf litter. That's enough heat to set back the non-native invasive species that we're trying to control. We have no desire to burn up the logs. They're good habitat, and for us they're just a big pain in the neck if we have to stay here, put them out after they start smoldering. So it's much easier for us in the long term, much quicker, if we simply burn around them so they don't burn up. We do that by lighting fire on all sides with our drip torch, and then putting out whatever's burning towards the log. So that what we're left with is a black area all around, but no fire along the log. And we can continue moving the fire through the woods, and the log never burns. A lot goes into the planning before we ever come out here and light the first match. It starts with us developing a burn plan or a burn prescription, describing what we're going to be doing out here, what the conditions need to be like, what kind of temperatures, relative humidity, wind direction we like, where smoke management is a big concern to try to take into account where the roads are and which direction we need to keep get the smoke to go. Then we work with the local fire department to get a burn permit. We can't do a prescribed burn unless we have a permit from the local fire department. So we work closely with them to get that permit. And once that's in place, then we start waiting for good weather days. We also need to identify burn breaks. Particular area over here we've got lawn, and the lawn makes a great burn break, so that helps us control the fire. But other spots where there's not an existing break like that, we need to either mow a break or we use an existing trail. And around every area that we burn, we need some kind of a burn break. And that burn break helps us control the fire when we start. We light the fires on the perimeter along the burn break, let it burn to the center, and then it puts itself out. So this has been happening for thousands of years by the Native Americans. We're continuing the tradition now, and hopefully bringing back some native prairies and oak savannas for the people of Bloomfield Hills to enjoy.